Hello, welcome to this brief overview of what's required for the feasibility research business plan for your new venture, product, or market that you'll be doing for one of the courses you're taking me in. You're either taking me for intro to business, you're taking me for what do you call it, entrepreneurship, small management, depending on how much information I want you to provide me depending on the course. But this will be a quick overview for all my courses that this is kind of like the template. To what extent more for more advanced courses, a little less for or the second tier for my introduction courses. Okay, so let's get started on here. You already have my concept maps. We've already discussed this in class. I'm going to go over what the requirements are. So let's look it on. If you just happen to find me on YouTube and you say, hey, this is pretty interesting on a business plan, this aspect of the business plan in the course, before I do a full-fledged business plan, which every detail, all my product lines, all my product mixes, different categories, every employee, a job description, specification. Before I even start this way, I start off from the basic. This is a rough outline. Can my business be sustainable? What that means profitable for the next 5 years. Can I get financing for my business venture? And then here, you just can go real roughly. I think I'm going to get financing from the bank. I'm going to use venture capitalists, angel investors, or crowdfunding, whatever. I don't get, I mean, right now you're just saying, hey, here's where I think I'm going to get the money. That's one aspect of your business. The next aspect of your business is what investors, even if you're going to go try to get a loan and you need a business plan. So the next aspect of the business for investors is who's going to make this happen. That's the management, the leadership that we've been talking. Then the question is, where are you going to open up? Where you open up because you understand the market, there's a need for my product, you understand the customers, the basic thing. This whole business research study, or even a business you open up, you have to know the customers you're targeting. Once I understand the customers, and that's when I find out from my market analysis, and that's basically I do the research first, and then I do the marketing, and then how I advertise is my formal communication to my customers. The marketing is my integrated marketing plan, or the heart, as we discussed, for that one project. So if I'm opening up a new business, my heart to my project is awareness, that people know I'm providing a service or product that may help them satisfy their needs or wants. I understand there's competitors out there, and that's what we're going to, when we do the SWOT analysis in here, when we discuss the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You're going to provide a SWOT analysis in the marketing. And, basically every aspect here, I'm looking at the SWOT analysis. What's the strength, weakness, and opportunity? For this plan right now, the SWOT analysis will be on the marketing. You have to understand your strengths and your weaknesses for your business venture, and the opportunities and threats that are out there. And when you do the marketing, you also have to understand your competitors' strengths, weakness, opportunities, and what threats they have. And one of their threats is probably you, because you're going to come in and you're going to satisfy one of their weaknesses to their present clientele. Because but you have to have everything else they're offering. Why would I switch from one product to another just to get one item, and then there's 80% is not what I want? So everything that they're having, I'm meeting and exceeding that client's expectation from their previous provider, but I'm also adding one of my strengths is going to be what one of their weaknesses are. Okay, so we're going to do that. The operation part, and I'm going to go through all this. I just want to give a quick general idea what you're trying to do here. Financing, we assume you're going to have the financing. Just give me how your plan of action, one of your SMART goals. Remember, it's SMART goal specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, right? What's the other one? It has relevance, and it's timely. Almost forgot it, but you know it. Okay, And so here's where we're at, and the critical risks. What are the critical risks? Oh, the economy. You open up an economy that's going either way right now. So when I'm looking at critical risk, what will happen? Maybe there's a new law registration coming in. Maybe there's something. You have to have a contingency plan for your operation to be sustainable for 5 years, to be able to take any kind of critical risk that you perceive that may occur. Hopefully never occurs. Remember, in business, I'm looking at the worst case scenario. I look at both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. If I can survive in both of those, I will have my business will be sustainable for the next 5 years, which investors are looking. They're looking for you longer. And why do they want you to be sustainable for a longer period? Because they want you to repay their loan. The money or interest usually they're charging you, but they also, if you're growing, you'll come back to them for more capital, for more investments, or back to your suppliers. All this is part of your business plan. It's part of you knowing where you want to be in the next 5 years for your operation, your business. Or maybe your recommendation when you come in here will be that it's not feasible at this time, but maybe down in the future. Okay, so let's start. Before I go, so this is a quick overview what's required for those of you who don't know. So I teach at a community college. Most of you know that. If you take looking up, if you just find me, look me up in a community college, or look up or go to community colleges. You have business programs there to help small entrepreneur business. There's small business associations always attached to most community college. That's the central part to help local business individuals, to help them establish a business, but not only to help them establish locally, but start thinking globally and to look out for a lot of pitfalls. Some businesses start without a business plan, but as they grow and they get consultants coming in to assist them, they basically have to have, here's where you're at, what do you need? You have a plan that it lets you, when you look at your goals, am I on target, am I off target? You could do it, but you're a lot more effective and efficient with a business plan. So for my paper, what's required is a quick check of the rubric overview. Let me just go what's required. I'm going to go just want to go a little slowly. A minimum of 4,400 words. That's about 300 words. So that's about like 10 pages, 11 pages. You're working in a team. Usually have a team of 2 all the way to 6. That's usually how my teams end up. Sometimes my teams, if those of you are on here, may be teams of 6. And then during the course, people drop out. There's too much work or whatever. Or they got job requirements that change, or a job change, or something changes. So now you're from a team from 6 to a team of 2. All this was done, usually this business plan, this feasibility, when I was teaching the courses by one individual, they would give me 2,300 words, it's about like 8 pages, and they did all these aspects. Most entrepreneurs start off with all these aspects. Most colleges, and going forward, because of you need the expertise, you need other people involved, we start working in teams, or what we call in a lot of schools or colleges, collaborative learning. In business, we call it team working in teams. So saying all that, so now you're working in a team. So in a team, I require 4,400 words. That's about like 3 pages for each, or 6. Very manageable at that level. Okay, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Now, if you're taking me online, and it depends if you're taking me for an 8-week course or a 16-week course online. If it's an 8-week course, a lot of times I don't do the teams unless you're one of my more advanced classes. I don't know if you've taken other online classes, because by the time you learn how to function with an online, it takes a little while. Your requirement for one individual will be like 2,000, about 3,000 words for an individual. Let me just drop this down. I had a little bit higher. Okay. Remember, I'm live. Those who know, I'm recording this live. I discussed this in the classroom. This is just a supplement to what we discussed. Okay, so you have to have a minimum words. I don't care how many pages you're looking at it. Usually the font's going to be a 12-point font, double space. So that gives you like 300 words per page, give or take. Okay. All right. So now, you have to, okay, so now let me just open this up. It's about 300 words per page. Okay, now, all 7 headers. Here you have the 7 headers. I'm looking at the 7 headers. You have to have it. remember your title is going to be you're going to have Dr. George Mochocki, whatever course you have, and your name always, and the college that you're presenting this paper to, and then you will have the 7 headers. You'll have the executive summary, and I'll discuss all of them as market analysis, marketing, the websites, just for your information. But you will have a website underneath the advertising. You'll have an advertising. That's the 4th header. You have your operation, where you're going to open up your building, how much of square foot, what kind of equipment you need, critical risk, and then you're going to have your recommendation statement. Executive summary, those are your 7 headers. Not all, it has to be identified 7 headers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you will respond to information pertaining to your business underneath those headers that we're going to go through. So far, so good. So all 7 headers in there. You need that if you want to point. If you only give me 5, it reduces your what do you call it? It reduces your grading. Sorry, it's early in the morning. Excuse me. Okay. So now we have all 7 headers. Now vocabulary and concepts. Remember, I am looking for at least 5 for each header. I'm looking for a total of 35 vocabulary or concepts out of the book. You've got my mind maps, and I want you to bold them or underline them. In a real business plan, you won't utilize that. You'll just they'll be in there. Any language you're taking, any course you're taking, you have to use the concepts and the vocabulary from that course. This gives you credibility. So I'm talking to another business person. I'm talking to another marketing person. I'm talking whatever. They know I understand the topics at large or the discussion because I'm using the proper vocabulary. Good? You have to put that in. Do it in my class or any class. Use the vocabulary or you won't get the full points. Okay, so in bold. Now, APA citations. I'm requiring APA citations, 6 sources outside. It doesn't have 6 or we'll leave it at 6. But a lot of you will have maybe 8. Okay, it's not going to be. You're not going to find if you open up looking at George's hot dog stand. You're not going to find anything underneath George's hot dog stand at an academic level. I'm not going to write about a hot dog stand unless it has a new trend, unless it has something to do with salmonella or something that's going to help your health. But in business, I have to always find other sources. I may be looking at my competitors. I may be looking at secondary sources, the U.S. Census. I may be looking at the Chamber of Commerce. And remember, in APA, in business, I am looking within the most current, not something that happened in the 19th century. I want something happening current. The more current, the better. I'm not taking something here and I'm opening up a business or a venture and saying, okay, in the future, I'm looking at it to implementing it now, within the next 6 months. So I need the most current data to make sure I have the best decision possible. Okay, now, so it's going to be an APA file, a citation, 6. Now, I'm going to show you in a second how to do APA citation. Real easy when you're doing your paper. So I'm going to open up just a Word document, and we'll just close this up, data recovery. Let me close this. So here, close it. Okay, so, yes, okay. So now I have a Word document, and I just throw this in. This is basic. This is what we're really basically talking about. Up in here, let me see if I can make this just a little better. You have to remember, you're submitting this paper to me in Blackboard, and it has to be submitted as a Microsoft Word document. No other document. Not RTF file, nothing. It has to be a Microsoft Word document file, or I can't open up the course management system I'm utilizing is Blackboard course management system, and it only opens up Microsoft Word. You're a business class, you might as well learn Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Access, Excel. That's all business, 90%. If you have a Mac user or Apple user, for lack of a better word, you could utilize that. You get software that's set up for Mac. At both community colleges I teach, you could get Microsoft Office, download, or Microsoft Office 365. It's in the cloud, for lack of better words, or OneDrive, and you'll be able to access everything else. If you're using Google.Chrome or anything else, make make sure, Google document, make sure you save it as a Microsoft Office document file, boom, and then upload it into Blackboard. Okay, so here we are. Let's see if I can make this screen just a little bit bigger. I guess not. I'm stuck. So if I'm looking at this in Microsoft Office, real quickly, you're looking underneath here where it says download Word references. Okay, let me open this up. And if you see in here, it says insert citation. Now here's the style. Before you go in there, you're going to look at APA style. You're going to, what I mean? So you're looking at APA, that's the style we're using. It's the most recent one. And then you're going to go insert citation. Here, pretend it's a document. You got your name and all this stuff. And now I want to insert a citation. And I'm going to insert a citation. It's going to say a new source. And now it's going to ask you, is it from a book? Is it from a book selection, article, interview, conference, document, website, anything you want. So let's say it's going to be an interview. So once you press on this, it will tell you the items I need to put in there automatically. So here's the interview. I'm just going to make this real quick. Just see George, title, boss. I'm making this up, all right? You're interviewing me. I'm just going to go bosses, George again. And year. Now here's what's important. How I know it's an APA format. The year is 2016. Okay. And the month, I'm not too worried about the month. Today is September, for lack of October. Okay, you write it properly. I'm doing this quickly because I don't want to spend too much time on this little thing and whatever date it is. Okay, and so now I have this, and I go okay. Now look what happens. It came out from the source, George, and it gives me the year. This is what I'm looking for. When I'm looking in your paper, if you have something, and if I'm looking at the demographics, I took some information from the U.S. Census, and I'm looking at the demographics from 2010, and I'm opening up business now. I'm looking in the Humboldt Park area. I'm going to say Humboldt Park area, maybe in 2010 was predominantly Hispanic, whatever, but now in 2016, it's more mixture. Maybe it's more Polish. It's maybe more Ukrainian. Maybe it's more Middle Eastern. I don't know, but I will know now in 2006, the last time the census takes, I think it's every 5 years, if I'm mistaken, or 7, give me, right? I think we just did one a little while ago. When I have that data, that gives me enough data. Said, okay, the U.S. government says, here's what my population. It gives me an idea. So I'm looking at this. Are we good? So, okay, let's go back to our thing. My APA citations this way. You don't have to do the whole paper APA right now. Remember, I'm just getting you a little bits of APA. Eventually, you'll be able to, when you're ready to go for in your bachelor's, it's all APA, American Psychological Association, for if you're in business or any of the psychology. If you're taking English classes, MLL. In business, it's all APA, and similar citations. But the thing is, the date. It's always showing me the current date. I need that current date. I need that information now. Okay, so we have that. So you have that. Now grammar. Not repeating myself. Remember, I'm live. Okay, now the grammar, written at a college level, professional, no profanity. I'm looking for grammar. You got spell check, you got grammar check. Utilize that. In the classroom, you're doing in the forums or an email, sure, I could accept a few errors because I do that myself. But in the paper, it should be perfect grammar. Read it. Then you're presenting this to your investors. You're presenting this to the government. You're presenting this to the bank. And you're saying, I got high quality. If you got little errors in the grammar, it takes away from your message that my business is doing quality. If you can't write a quality paper, most likely you can't do a quality product. Give or take. Some people aren't good at English. English is second language for me, but all right, try to improve on your grammar. Okay, it's turned into Blackboard. Okay, and I've got I got a little recording how you submit it. Most of you know it must be in Microsoft Word doc. One paper from one team, and it has to be in this order. When I'm looking at paper, I had only one semester. I got a paper turned in. It says one paper, all the same fonts, no different fonts. It has to be, it's to your client or to me as an instructor. When you submit that paper, it looks like one person wrote it, even though all individuals wrote it. Every section that you're responsible for, if George and Sally wrote this paper together, George and Sally in section, the executive summary will be in there. Everyone's input in there, but somebody actually writes that and makes it come alive. And the same thing when I do the marketing. Who did it? If it's one person, because remember, you're going to be graded as a team paper, and then I'm also looking at the individual contribution to that team. Sometimes a team may not do as well as a team project, but as an individual, you exceed it because what I see you done in here, I may up your point or give you a bonus for individual contribution, even though the team gets one bonus. Understand? Real life. Now, a lot of times when you look what I'm asking here for, there's a software called Business Plan Pro, and that plan, I think it's like $200 if you're starting off a business or anything else. It gives you the formats, asks you the questions I'm asking here, and you can type it in, and it'll create the business plan structure. You still have to put all this information in. It doesn't say I'm going to open up a hot dog stand and it gives you everything about a hot dog stand. You know, you're putting in, it's just asking you questions, just like TurboTax or some of the other tax programs or H&R tax program. You just they ask you a question, you put in the numbers or you put your comments in, and they will basically just put it in that format for you. Okay? Now, the last thing I want you to say is 25%, I think I did in this class, was 35% of your paper working in a team is through CAPME, Comprehensive Assessments of Team Members Effectively. That's a software program that I put your information in, I created the teams, it sends out a peer evaluation. The peer evaluation, it's supposed to be, I look at it simulates a 360 review in business. That means everyone's reviewing me, my peers, my creditors, my suppliers, other departments, and I get an overview. This is what this program does. It asks your peers in your cross-functional team, your team members, how you did. What did you do? Did you feel comfortable in the team? Did someone take over the team? Was someone very rude in the team? Was someone a slacker, one that wasn't performing in the team? And when I get that evaluation, the program will give me a grade, an average grade, kind of, I have to decipher. It gives me a different dimension. And I say, okay, this person only did like a C work. So if you got, let's say if this paper is worth 150 points and you only got a very low, you may only see for your presentations, even though the team got the 150 point, because you were not active, you did very little, if any, you may only see 20 points or 30 points or 50 points. You did some work, but not enough to justify the full team's effort. Make sure. And this is the biggest problem with teams in the college level. In businesses, your boss reports, everyone knows what's going on. A little different. You have the checks and balance. You get rid of team members. You can put team members in. You can motivate them. Here, the students feel, I can't do nothing. I got to do all the work. I'm a high achiever. So this program here tells everyone, that's why I have members of at least 3 or 4 in the team, who's doing what. It'll give you an average. It won't say that George said this about you. It says your team members and overall said that you only did so much work. And then I always put my 2 cents in there because remember, I'm very active within the teams, and I will up it or low it, depends on what I see happening in the classroom, what I hear from other students, what I hear from you, and what you present in this. So remember, it's 35% or 40%. It could be a little higher or lower, depends on the course. If it's more of my advanced classes, full marketing or full entrepreneur, you're at a different level. I expect more team collaborations. You may the team feedback back to me and to you. It should be maybe 50 or 60%. In this case right now I'm just talking 35. If you're viewing this, 35 or 40. Okay? All right, so now we've got what's required. And I did that at the beginning because some people get tired. I'm not going to do anything. Now I'm going to go real quickly. Executive summary. Remember, you're going to have a header, executive summary. Executive summary is the first thing you see, and it's the last thing you do. Does that kind of make sense? From a reader, it's an abstract when you're looking at English. I read about the business, so it tells me, it captures my interest right off the bat. So when you're doing my presentation, make sure you have your strong speaker to do the first one, my recommendation. Allows a quick overview, appears first but last, prospective lenders, investors. It tells me a little bit about the company, industry, my marketing needs, what's going to distinguish my business, my product from my competitors. Now you have a mission statement. A mission statement, when we did this in class, take that and place this in here.
is just a few sentences. Walmart's mission statement is to have the lowest price for the highest for all of their products, for customers could afford them. Target's mission statement, give or take, I'm paraphrasing, is to have the lowest price but for higher quality goods or something. Whatever, so you can see the mission statement. If I got George's hot dog, my mission statement to provide the best Chicago hot dog there is. I use pure Vienna hot dog. I use the buns. Also the Chicago type of buns, the Hostess buns that are here. I'm just selling product. I'm just saying this is Chicago hot dog. I don't put any ketchup on there. I give everything that's high quality. That's my mission statement. Even though I sell other stuff, I sell beefs, I sell gyros, hot dogs are my signature. This is what brings people into the hot dog. And you get tired, so you try other stuff. Does it make sense? My mission is or high quality food, good customer service. Simple so your employees understand. And this is what your whole business is based on this. This is your core mission. Okay, so you got the philosophy, and we talked about that. Now you have to tell me about your product. Describe it. Any patents, legal, any logos, business name. You already done that in the class. Future development. Always in the future. Investor wants to make sure I'm not, if you get hired in a job, I don't want to be a stock boy all my life. I want to move up the ladder. Same thing. You start out small. I'm going to open up more businesses. I'm going to come into a franchise. I want to become an LLC. I want to become a corporation. Okay. Potential market. What's the market? That's why you're looking into sustainability. I got the money. Open up. Good idea. But will that market sustain? If not, here's another market we want to go to. Website. In this business, I just want a website. If you take me for marketing class, you create a website. Here, I just want you to have a PowerPoint, show me a website, and then the website say, it's cut and paste. Most websites now, you just cut and paste, and they got templates, and you put in your picture, and it's all set up. All the programming is done behind you, but you get the services with some of the domains. Okay. So you're just going to have a website, and I want you to give me a website number. So you may say www.gamhotdogs.com. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to create it, but I am going to look at that website. You have to look at the website to see if that website hasn't already been taken, because your whole marketing plan is going to give that website. If that website's been taken and it's a catchy name, you may have to change your name a little bit so customers will look at that name and always, George Game Hot Dog. His website may be www.game, something similar, or change. Make sure you have to look at that, because if I find a website that's already there and it's not yours, I'm not asking you to open up a website. I just want you to do the research. Okay. And then the website and international global. Remember, I can export, import. Most of my colleges you're already in a very diversified classroom. You have people from different cultures, different countries. Connect with them. They may go back to their host country, and what you basically do now, you got a contact person. That's the hardest thing going international. Have someone that you could trust and bring your product back in there. And the Small Business Association will help you to have a export. Not import. They have for importing. We import too much. We need to export a little bit more. Okay, you have to know a little bit of human relations. And this one, staffing, we're going to find your employees. You can say I'm going to get from high school, I'm going to find from college, whatever. You have one job description. When I'm looking at the one job description in here, what I want you is let me just put this in here. Your main person. I'll leave it at that. I want to make it general. So if I'm opening up a bakery, who is my main vital employee I need? I need a baker. I need someone at the counter. If I don't have a baker, my business is gone. If I'm opening up a beauty salon, I need a beautician. At least one. I can have all the managers, people, someone that does the hair. Then I'll have a specification. Remember, we talked about job descriptions, what you want the person to do. Specifications, what are the requirements. This is where you have to be careful, because this is where the government looks if you're doing discriminatory on your specification. Not in your job description. If you tell me you got to clean the toilet, that's your job description. Taking the job, that's your job. But do I have to have a college level to clean the toilet? Some do, but you don't have to. Okay, recruitment, diversification, compensation program. There's two things: compensation. First of all, why are you going to work for your business? So you're going to say got benefits or whatever. The other thing is what kind of pay raises you think, motivation. And we've talked that in class, and you came up with some, include this in here. Now, financing need. How much dollars to get the product or business going for it? And you can say, I need a $50,000. You're doing your best guess. Some students say, I'm going to open up a golf course. Yes, that'd be nice. Will you ever get the finance? Well, no, I'm thinking about it. Let's work right now. I want to open a golf course. Before I can open up a golf course, maybe I'm an investor. Maybe I'm just selling golf clubs so I can make some money. Give me a business, you could do it. Unless your father or your family or somebody's going to give you $2 million, $20 million to buy the land, even if that won't be enough, if you're looking where the property's at, forget it. Give me a business, you could do it. What this course is about, I don't care what business, from a golf course to a hot dog stand, you have to go through the same process. But I want it to be as realistic as you possibly can, figuring you may not get a job. This could be your going. Several or some people in my courses do actually open up businesses, and this is their starting point. Okay? And where do you expect to get the capital startup? Okay, and part of the financing gives. I asked for an income statement. One income statement we did in the class. You have to have that in. If not, you're going to lose on your points. In a business, in a regular business plan, it will be someplace else. I'm just throwing this in here, not to make it too cumbersome. You know what I mean? But I want to cover all the chapters, so I didn't make it as a separate item, and I may do it down in the future. Okay, your SMART goal. Long-term SMART. Remember, you had to measure success. Are you successful? Are you successfully? Jeez, well, it's one of those days. Good thing I catch this. Okay, are you successful? If I'm looking, If I'm looking at what we did in class, I said, okay, you had the money. You open up your business. I come to you in 6 months. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing great. How do you know you're doing great? Well, I've got 20% of the market share. I'm breaking even. Those are the SMART goals that you need. Remember, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So this way you can say, well, I just got a good feelings going. How do you know? I don't know. Are you making money? I don't know. You remember, you have goals. You have to have some goals. You're not going to be, it's nice to start the business figure you're going to do well right off the bat. But that may not happen. Come on. Sometimes it takes a year, 2, 3 years before you develop that clientele. But what's going to keep you going? And your goal may be, I made it for the first 6 months. I don't owe, I'm breaking even. I'm not making a profit, but I'm not owing anyone. I'm paying off my debt, my loans, whatever. Okay? That's your SMART goal. Okay, so let's go into the market analysis. So now we'll close this off. Okay, so we finished the executive. Now we're going to go to market analysis, another header, and who's assigned. You're going to put the person's name on here. Who's your target customer? You got to let me know. Target market demographics. You get that, the niche. How we identify, are you business to business or are you business to consumer? What's your market? My background is basically business to business, but I have to understand the consumer market because when I go to my clientels, I know more about their consumers or their market than they do, and I'm a resource to them. Even though I'm not selling to them indirectly, I'm basically selling to business. You may be selling strictly to consumer, that's fine. I just need to know. Okay, how do you plan to turn this idea into a business, service or product, or a new department? Remember, it doesn't have to be a brand new business. I'm an existing hot dog place. Now the neighborhood changes. Say it's more Korean, so I may have a hot dog that has a Korean flavor to it, or some kind of side dish, or that will blend into that they will say, okay, I've got my regular traditional dish and now the American dish and what we call infusion in the restaurant business. Okay, so let me know about your customers, your consumer. What are their needs? What do you expect to meet? Can you make a profit? Mostly yes. And don't tell me lots of money. I will make 2% of my investment or 3% of my return, whatever. Lots of money. If I'm broke, $10 is lots of money. Market research. Now here's the hard part. You have to look at potential markets through secondary data, different markets. You're finding out who my customers are, and I'll put this in here through secondary data. Okay, and that's how you go. Now remember, when you're looking at this, you have to understand all of this for your plan. But some of you may just have the market analysis. Some of you are doing things. But as a business, you're all talking about this because it all builds on one. You're not in a I'll do this and nobody else. Everyone in the team has to know what's going on because it connects everything together. That's why I try to do the concept match. You see the connection. Okay, so you find the data through U.S. Census or wherever data that's going to be, and you're going to put that as one of your sources into this where you found the data. Chamber of Commerce is a good one. You maybe look at some of your competitors. Okay, now why will they buy? Prices. What's the reason? prices, quality, location, and we talked about that. What's any negative impact? Is my price is too low, now if I raise them up, what's the market? What's the size of the market? Is it current? What are the trends? And I'm looking with the 2 or 3 years. Who are my competitors? What will bring customers in? What's your signature? If I look at McDonald's, what's your signature? Big Mac. Well, you like Big Mac or not? That's your signature. Hamburger. Well, Burger King. What's your signature? The Whopper. Flame broiled. You see, same still a hamburger, same meat. It's just that it's something different that brings me into there versus there. Okay? So now we have that. So if you're doing this section, remember, I want your name in there. Who's taking care of that section? You're all evaluated as a team. So don't say mine is better than that. There's individual, but so you got to help the other one. You want the good team score, because you're gonna have to, and the good individual score. Okay, now marketing. Marketing is the heart. The heart. Remember, I told you it's the heart of your whole project. And your marketing, integrated marketing campaign. What's your campaign now? Most of you, your first campaign is awareness. So you're going to develop a statement for your marketing objectives, how they contribute to overall mission. It's awareness. Hey, we've got the best hot dogs, or we've got the best quality, or whatever. Plan to reach your customers first. What is your target marketing buying process? Understand, businesses have a buying process. How do your consumers buy? A lot of consumers are buying online now. That's why Amazon. Maybe I got to connect with Amazon. Maybe I got to connect with that. I forgot the other one. Alibaba. It's a Chinese, similar to Amazon. The only problem is you have a lot of, they're working on it. I'm in the class. I got to look at it. What's one of their negatives? Well, they have a lot of copymates. They're not original. They look like a Samsung. They look like an Apple, but they're fake. Okay, and they're trying to clear that up. It doesn't say Amazon has that, but Amazon a lot of times will try to get rid of that right away because they always they're always dealing with the vendor themselves. They got an arrangement where the other companies, Alibaba, may not be dealing exactly with them. Okay, so you have to know who your target markets are, who you're going to sell to. How will I contact them? If you're telling, don't tell me everyone. You have to start off with something. I want everyone to buy a hot dog. Everyone doesn't need a hot dog. Every generation doesn't need a hot dog. You know what I mean? So, but in every generation, somebody does like hot dogs. How am I going to contact them? So I'm going to say I'm looking for males. I'm looking for people that aren't health conscious. I'm looking for people from maybe from 19 to 30 or whatever. Give me a market that saturate first, because that's how I'm going to contact. That's how I know you understand your market, who you identify as your customers or your clientele. Okay, then you have to look at your competitors. Google it. I'm in here with my car. How many other hot dogs? How many businesses are like by promotions? How are you going to generate there? A trade show, coupon. Where are you going to put the coupons in? All right. What's your product? Remember, what's going to make your product stand out? Is it just or maybe just it's a regular product, but the cost is less, or it's convenient? Look at the razor blades. You see everything. You got razor blades expensive. They say, hey, buy razor blades for $20. I'll give you 5 razor blades, last you all years, because they're made in Germany. They special metal. They're a little different. They look like the regular other razor blade, but it's something else that's getting me in there, and I'm thinking and I'm buying online. So how are they getting it? Pricing is important. We talked about pricing. Is your pricing acceptable in the market? Provide the profit, will increase the market share. What's your competitor's price? Remember, we talked about pricing. Remember, you have to look at this because your consumers or your target market are looking at this. Okay, place. Where are you going to open it up? Why would they come there? If I got a plumbing store, a plumbing shop, I don't have to be in the main thoroughfare. People ain't going to come to my say, well, let's see, my toilet's stuck, or my drains are sticking. Let me see. I coming over here. Could you help me? They want you to come there and evaluate the situation. So you could be in an industrial site because you've got the trucks. You need a little more different. You don't need the front. So your rent and everything else is lower, but because you don't need that exposure. If I'm a hot dog stand, I want to be right in the corner. I want to be in a mall. I want to be by a big anchor store so people come in there. That in an area or a strip mall or strip mall, for lack of better, or outdoors, is as long as there's another hot dog stand. It could be a Chinese place. It could be other things, but not a hot dog. Another hot dog stand it takes away from me. Okay. It's my competition. I'm going for the same group of people coming into that strip mall, that shopping center, and there's only so many that are going to come in there. And there's 2 of us. One of us is going to leave. Okay, what's your campaign? Market to share. How you know it's successful. Public relations, more word of mouth. It's nice to have the mirror there when you open up. And public relations, you can't control. You can't control the message, but you can control how the message is presented. So you have your input, and we've discussed that. You take the course, you'll learn a lot about it. Okay, international, exporting, importing, who's your distribution, how you can distribute, is going to come in. Every business has to have some kind of website. People find out about your business. You can order on business. You may even start selling some stuff online. Hey, it's another market. They don't come in here because of the weather, whatever. I can still sell to other markets that don't have my business. That's how you expand your business. That's how you expand your market. And then the SWOT. Remember we talked about the SWOT, strength, weakness, and opportunities. Strengths about your product and your competitors. Make sure your strength. And look, if I'm selling a hot dog stand, some students will go, one of my strengths, I got a strong management team. And that's not what's going to bring people in. You could say I have a gourmet hot dog maker that graduated from the high-end culinary school. It's just something to bring them in. They don't care about your management. They care about the food. That's why I'm going to a hot dog stand. The management is that you keep the place clean, keep the prices down, and you're still in business. The hot dog's what I'm coming in for. Okay, so remember, your strength is how I'm going to take this straight and I'm going to put it in a marketing campaign when I do my awareness. Georgia's opening up. We have high-quality hot dogs by a culinary chef from France or wherever. I'm just making that up. And our prices are reasonably priced. What did I do? My mission, high quality, reasonable goods. Everything else is my marketing. We're open up. Come give us a try. You get buy one hot dog, get fries free, or get a pop or something to bring you in. Remember, my job is marketing is to bring you in. Remember, that's my campaign. So that's my message. I bring them in. Now, when you go to advertising, and this website, before I go in here, the website, other websites you can look up. It's not your website. Your export government, Department of Economics, State of Illinois, business. Use these sites to get more information. Okay, that's all this is. I should do it this way. We're live. Okay, so now you've got your marketing message. That's the hard. Now we're going to be going into our advertising. If I look at my advertising, 41 minutes, I'm just checking here, okay? If I look at my advertising, now advertising is the mouthpiece or the communication of my marketing campaign. It says my promotion, everything else in there. So you have to tell me in media selection. You're up here, remember, you're looking at it as this plan. I don't want this big out there and very high level. A marketing plan or business plan is bringing it down to the detail. As I mentioned in class, I want a house. I want a big house. Okay, so you have an artist render what kind of house. You got the walkway, all that. Okay, there's your house. Very nice house. That's your conceptual idea, your mission statement. Now, how do I make it happen? You go to an architect, and this is what the architect, he gives you more detail. So I'm looking at media selection, depending on your customers. Is it billboards? You're going to direct mail? You could have all of them or just one or two, but you have to tell me the zip code. Not say I'm going to just do direct mail. What zip code? Billboards, outside, buses, where? Give me the location. Newspaper, local, journal, local, Daily Herald, national, maybe Wall Street Journal. Depending, now if you're going to say local newspaper, Wall Street, Daily Herald, and you're going in your generation millennials, or the younger generations, to about like 25, 35, they're not reading a paper. Trust me, everything's on their smartphone, just like I am. Everything's on my baby boomer. Everything's on my smartphone. I still read the paper. I'm old-fashioned, but I get the information. But I still like that smartphone. I just Google it. If it comes in the news, it just catches my attention. So this will not work for the target market you identified. So I already know you got a business plan flaw. Okay? That's how I know. Do you understand the market? There's still a risk. There's always a risk in business. You're trying to minimize the risk by coming up with some detail. You're thinking it through before you just open up someplace, okay? Now, same thing, a radio station. What radio station? If I'm selling country and western gear, I want the radio station, I think it's 99.5 or whatever. Just tell me why, because majority of my consumers are trying to give me a little pricing, look up what the pricings are. And you could go to that radio station and they'll tell you who their market, they know who their market the people are listening to. Okay, that's where you want to advertise. And TV is the cable TV and everything else. Okay, so that's the media, public relations. We talked about that. Your ads, messages. What's your messages? It's a print, layout of coupons. You're gonna have coupon. You can just give me a general idea. Just do a picture of a coupon. We say we get 5 off at this level. If you take it before more advanced, I expect more. If you open up a business, you better have this down. Your SWOT. We already talked about again. SWOT again. Straighten your weaknesses, and that's going to come back from your marketing, your advertising plan. How often you're exposed to them, response rate, how many people you want to come back. It measures effectiveness and efficiency. I have an ad out there and it says, if you see this ad, tell me you saw ad 29 and I'll give you 50% off. People come into your store and you say, how did you come in? Well, I saw your ad. Okay, well, I don't know. I just saw just drove by. Nobody comes in for the ad. There's no reason to spend money for that ad. No one saw it. No one came in. That didn't motivate them. Why spend that money? Run the contract out, find someplace, or move that ad, change it, or move it to a different market or different media. That's what I'm looking for. And how often do you run the ad? How quickly? When are you going to run it? Do you run it simultaneously? Do you run here, or do you run it, give you a little here, prepare it? You don't want to run an ad down, you have to open it up for 6 months, waste of money. They're going to come out of here, they're going to forget about it. E-commerce, your promotional mix, we'll talk about. We already talked about that, and international exporting. Okay, so that takes care of advertising. If you have that, the next one is operation. You have to tell me a location. Where are you located? Look for the rented site. I'm going to open up at in Palatine. I'm going to open up at Grays Lake. I'm going to open up at Wheeling. I'm going to open up at Barrington, Lake Forest. I don't really care. Where? Here's the thing. Here's the industrial site. Remember, you've got the money. I'm going to say, hey, 6 months after this, I like it. Go run with it. You're not going to start looking for it now. You already say, we already have a location found. You're talking to investors. They don't want to say, I think I'm going to open up here. I want to know here. This is all. Once you know you're opening it up, then it helps you to find your research. You find everything you want in that location. And then if you're expanding to another market, you go through the same process just for that market. Okay? Physical space. You can say, I need a square footage of this. How big? Most of the tiles are 12 inches. So measure, look at the store. Do I need a big store? Do I need a smaller store? I'm going to rent. I'm going to buy. Excuse me. Where it's going to be. Are you going to lease, build equipment? Production services. Just give me real general. All right. What's my fixed cost? What's my variable cost? And you're going to have that ready information when we do the income statement, which we already did in the class. Remember, the income statement. Look at and sometimes when you do an income statement, you look at your expenses and your revenues coming in and other streams of income. A lot of businesses, you may not be making money for the first 2 or 3 years. You're losing money. So what are you going to do? Well, that doesn't make sense. How am I going to sustain myself? Good question. So you're taking out your loan, or you got a line of credit. Take out more. Don't spend it. Put it away. Make some investments in it. But when you need the money, you draw out of that account. Your retained earnings account, for lack of better words, if you're looking for accounting, or try to throw in some of the business concepts. Remember, you got to start using business terms. My fixed costs are, my variable costs are, my labor is, my job description is, labor force. You're going to be trained there, you're going to get them. Are you going to get some discounts from the government? Planning for outsourcing, or you may outsource. Or you can be a virtual office. I'm a contractor. I got different accountants. I'm not, let's say if I'm a building contractor. So what I will basically look at as a building contractor, I don't have to have anyone. If you're building a house in Barrington, high-end, I got high-end contractors that I could say, hey, I got a job for you, you work for me underneath my umbrella, and give me a bid for this. Like flipping a house. Or if I'm doing someplace maybe in like a Grays Lake or Palatine average suburb, I might just want a middle-end contractor, middle-end architect. So I could pull those. They don't work for me. They work for me indirectly because I'm hiring their service. I'm outsourcing to them. But to you, I'm the main point. You got any problems with the contract, you deal with me because their contract was me and my contract is with you. Like other business. Okay, so we have that. Plans for outsourcing, distribution. When will you start using technology operate? You will start using technology in my operation right now. My point of purchase, POP, is basically electronic register. It's already tied into my computer. It's tied into QuickBook or some kind of a software. I know my inventory. Everything else, you have to use it. There's no way you can do it by hand. You could, but you need it. You got QuickBooks for billing and everything else. You want to look professional, even a small business. UPS got their nice ad. Why ain't they coming? What I mean? You had to look professional. UPS got the business card, visit card, whatever. Make your business look professional if you have a website to your consumer. They may not know that you're only a little working out of a garage or working in my office, but from then they think you're a big business. So that's the operation. Where, when, and how much it's going to cost me. Okay, now critical problems. Launching your business, you're going to have a risk. Remember, most businesses fail, 50% fail within the first 3 years. If you made it past the 3-year mark and the 50-year probability or higher, you'd be successful, depending on the external forces, everything else out there. You may be in an area and everybody got laid off or depression, everything else, no one's buying your product. They're not buying anybody's product, so you're in the same boat they are. But that's the worst case scenario. Identifying any kind of assumptions. I'm a hookah bar, then to smoke, and all of a sudden I'm in the town and people don't like it or whatever, and so they say, hey, we're going to make the new regulations, no more smoke bars in here. What's my alternative? Do I go to the next suburb, or do I change something that is, do I become a cigarette company then, or a distributor, or something else? I'm still a hookah bar, but not here. I'm just a distributor now. No problem with that. I'm a business. I'm not selling. I'm not open up here, but I have other location. That's your critical risk. What do you do when that happens? The economy, global influence, and new regulations. Now, the last thing you do is your recommendation statement. What do you recommend? You may say after all this, hey, if you're doing it for your own, my recommendation is, yes, this is a good venture because I can turn profit, return on my investments. I know my customers want it. There's a need in the market. Sell it. Remember, it's the last thing I hear. I hear all this stuff here, but then the last thing I see here is your recommendation statement. Not so, I think you should open it up. Sell it. Same thing when you're going for an interview. The last thing that says, any questions for me? That's the last thing I hear. No, everything's okay. Well, if I would get the job, where would you think I would work? Here. Your recommendation statement. Yes, this is the best deal. I want you to work here. I think this is the best plan. Or your recommendation may be, no, right now the timing's not right, or the location's not right. We should go here. Don't say, I don't think it's a good idea. You have to give me why. Just as intense as you do in your opening statement to get me in, you want to leave me with a positive, quick summarization of your whole plan. That's what I'm looking for. And if it's a recommendation that's not effective now because of the constraints or the money or whatever it is that I found out here, your investor or your company or your senior management, if you're working within an organization looking for another market, say, you know what? You got 70% here is good. I will help you develop, give you extra cash, bring in some more resources. Let's look at this. Maybe help you find a location that this could be profitable. Because if you're profitable, I get my money back. You're profitable. It's a good investment for me. You expand. You pay me back. You're going to come back for more, not only for my investment. You're also going to come back for my expertise and my help. Value added. Other things you add to buying your product, coming into my store. This is business to business. This is what you call relationship management. Okay? So we have the recommendation stage, a minimum a paragraph or more. Don't give me yup or yes. All right? That's it. This is your whole paper. And remember, make sure you look at this. Last thing I end here. Again, remember, I am looking for 4,400 words per team. That's about 3 pages each. Very manageable. All 7 headers identified. Looking for at least 5 concepts for every section. Don't put it all on one. I'm looking at a total. I'm looking at a total of 35 or more. This could be more than the 4,400 words. If you actually open a business and you submit to me a paper that has, let's say maybe 10,000 words or higher, maybe like 30, 40 pages because it's a full business plan, I will look at it and just say, yes, you met my requirement. Otherwise, that's my consulting fees when you're looking at. That's a whole different process. For this class, it's just to see how you take all the chapters that you're reading and how do I implement them, and instead of just knowing conceptually, I apply them into a business. So I know marketing. Remember, like I tell you, if you take a marketing class and you got a marketing degree and I hire you and you don't know how to do a marketing plan or integrated, you don't know the 4 P's of you know the 4 P's, but you don't know how to make them happen, I just Google it. I save myself $45,000. Why do I need you? You're just a definition. You're just unless you can apply it. I am a practitioner. Business people who have PhDs or their degrees and masters in business, we're practitioners. We take some concept now that somebody else came up and we make it happen. Okay, so you got your vocabulary, bold, underline, APA citation, show you how to do that. Grammar at a business professional level, not hey you. I don't want to hear your name. The only time I see your name is George and Sally or Gladys, we open up the business. After that, if it's GAM Hot Dog, GAM Consulting, GAM whatever your business, that's all I want to see. You no longer are there. I want to remember your business venture, not you. When you say, hey, I'm George with GAM Consulting. I'm George with GAM Hot Dog. I'm George with GAM Bowling Alley. Put that business first. This is what you're selling, not you, your business, your team. Okay? Microsoft Word documents, only way I accept it. I don't care what, you got pages, doc. It has to be saved as a Word document, DLC or DLCX, because I can't read it, I can't open it, I can't add my comments to it, and you won't get your grade. Okay? And remember, to CAT me, make sure you do your peer evaluation. If you don't do it, you get a 0 no matter what. So you're already your grade's already down by 35%, no matter what the team does. And this is just to have people in the team have a voice, to make sure to make sure everyone in the team works together. Not that you want to be individual. We all like to work individually. Even if you're a small business, you got to bring in the score, people from outside that know the business, other people to help you grow your business. That's team building. And then academically called collaborative learning. It's a skill set, a social, emotional skill set that you will be able to have. That when you go into the workplace, you know how to talk to people, how to voice your opinion or your disappointment in something, and how to ask questions, how to write it up, how to negotiate, how to work in a collective environment. Okay? All right, so that's it. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is a quick overview on the feasibility research business plan. Remember I said feasibility research. The full business plan, you're going to be doing a lot of work. This is just before I open up a business, before I do anything else. Does it make sense and where I want to do it? Once I know it, then I start adding all my product line employees. I just expand, but I already have the template. I have the base. I start off small, and as the business grows, I start expanding, and I start bringing in other programs in. So I'll see you, and I can't wait to read your papers. I'll talk to you later. Bye.